Hello survivors, welcome to a brand new 02 Hero episode. We are still trying to unlock the Samurai, and we did unlock our machinist quite easily actually. We unlocked the shaman as well. I've been trying something and it failed, so we kind of got some levels. But the way I unlocked the machinist was actually using the Legionnaire. So here's Titan Hunt. We succeeded with him, and we actually were level 1 when we tried this. So we were level 1. We landed up using a flamethrower, poison puddle, acid rain, poison cloud, and pestilence. And you can actually see that flamethrower dealt more damage than a pestilence itself, which is a damage stacking skill, even though we kind of went with doom, some poison, and some fire. Even with the poison stacking, we still dealt more damage using flamethrower, which is crazy to me. But anyway, today we're going to be playing with the Legionnaire again to unlock the Samurai, and it's going to be using his second weapon this time instead of his first weapon. So let's go unlock that quickly. It's 5 yellow or wicked Soulstones with 6 quartz, 100 tin, and 500 gold. As you can see, Titan Hunt is being very lucrative with materials, which we'll get into later on. But for today, we're going to do something very similar. But I really think that, summons are busted, and we're going to use them as well. We might land up going electrified here, as well as some poison, or just using flamethrower again because it's just completely busted. But let's go unlock the Samurai and see what happens. Obviously, Shattered on hit is going to... Sorry, guys. This happens a lot to me, where we forget to actually change the weapon. So there we go. Also, stat-wise, this is a very strong weapon, especially when you start to upgrade it. With this one, we get negative multicast and negative movement speed. This one, we just get a little bit less health. That's okay. We should be okay with a little bit less life. Yep, definitely. And we've also now got our Ascension, which gives us increased damage, armor, and area of effect. We are going to start off... Oh, do you know what we could do? We'll start Broken just for the Shattered on hit, because Shattered reduces enemies' armor, which means that it is a very, very powerful skill to run. We were testing something, so I had the damage numbers on. So we're going to turn those off. That is for a build that we did earlier today on the main, not channel, but our main save file. So if you haven't had a look at it, go take a look at it now, and you will see it is really, really cool little build. Our Ascension's up very quickly, which is cool, and there's actually a little bit of a cheese that you can do using the Legionnaire. So the way that his Ascension works is you need to summon up these Legionnaires, or these combatants, Centurions, and what happens is that you can summon all of them. You have to summon 6 of them, but you can summon 5 of them, and you can use those 5 to assist you. But the thing is, you get far more powerful by having all 6 of them. So you can have 5 of them permanently up and then never activate the 6th one, or you can have all of them up for a period of time and you'll feel that you are far stronger. But yeah, this is a very beginner-friendly build, as you can see. I mean, we're already a whack ton of damage being dealt. We could grab this, which increases the amount of dazed every skill is going to get. That does save us from getting poisoned to dazed, so that's actually very, very strong. And then we've actually got positive in everything but multicast, so grab ourselves more damage, grab ourselves a little bit more movement speed right now. There's flamethrower, which we can take, cast frequency on it. And do we want poison? We don't need the poison. We can go burn to slow to disarray, and then disarray to disoriented. And then let's see what else we can grab here. Bloodlust can be very strong as well, but it takes a lot of... you know what, we'll give it a shot. I think we'll have more than enough levels to gain from Bloodlust. Now, because we are running material efficiency, efficient extraction and material harvest, it is actually quite beneficial to fight the objectives that summon the Lords of the Void, or the Shadows of the Void in this case, because they are going to drop the major Soulstones for us. And whenever we pick up a major Soulstone, we get increased materials from them as well. So the map's going to drop specific materials, and those materials are also going to drop from the actual bosses. So it is very, very good to have that. So there you go. We landed up getting a whole bunch of this material over here from that. And it works the same way for, you know, all the different materials. So we'll see if all of them give us the same material, or if it was just one specific one that gave us that material. The one Centurion, oh, they're all different. So this one gave us some of the rarer materials as well. That one gave us common, or whatever the case is. But there we go, all the bosses are down. And our last Centurion is down here. So potency is very good here. We do want to get a little bit of increases to damage. Not potency, sorry, not damage, to the skill itself. We're going to grab that. Cast frequency is going to be very important. I think I'm happy with these. And we can focus... Ooh, potency on this gives us movement speed. We need a little bit more cast frequency, and that's up permanently. And we're going to need a whack ton of cast frequency on that to get it to be really good. But I don't think we're going to have the time to get that much cast frequency out and in and about. We'll see. We never know. It could be pretty good. It could be pretty bad. All I know is that we need to unlock the samurai. And I thought we would have some fun using dazed and electric skills and flamethrower. I think flamethrower did do a lot of damage also because of the poison, but we'll see if that's you know, affects the amount of damage that we can do with it. Obviously increasing the damage it deals is also pretty good. Multicast is going to be very good. I'm not trying to have it do the most amount of damage. Also, I'm pretty sure the number of hits used to be 20. Was it always 24? I thought it said 20, but I'm happy with 24. Unfortunately, even though I've played this for a very, very long time, sometimes I don't remember every single skill. Like, I get a lot of the skills mixed up. So, like, I know body, like a shield slam, or the shield bash, sorry, is based on armor, where body slam is based on block. But a little bit earlier today, I couldn't remember that body slam was based off of block. I thought maybe it was armor as well. So there's little details. I knew it was a stacking skill. I just didn't know what you know, it stacked off of. Also, I really tried hard to find a critical damage stacking skill, which doesn't exist in the game right now. So devs, if you're watching this, could we get a get a skill that stacks off of critical damage? That would be really, really cool. Okay, let's grab some more movement speed. We're going to get rid of Leviathan, and we can actually increase the damage of our army, because we can use them quite a lot. Like right now, our army is busy doing damage. So having them up permanently does increase the amount of damage that we can do. But obviously we can't get to 2 of them to have them, you know, summon as better soldiers. We need to finish this objective first, which is taking very, very long. What we've got to do is try and time our ascension a little bit better. But there we go, we got it done. We've only got the 3 to go, which is up there in the corner. We'll grow this. I don't know if duration is one of the upgrades. I know armor is, and then I believe damage is the other one as well. So unfortunately, I don't think there's a way to get it to be any better than what it is in terms of lasting longer or anything like that. But that's okay. That just would have been nice. Alright, that's purple, which is actually pretty good for us because we need some of the purple major Soulstones. I don't want to collect the... Oh, it doesn't really matter because they're going to auto-collect everything now anyway. And we'll get a whack ton of materials over there. Look at that, we're on 772 of the titanium, which is a rare material. So actually kind of disgusting how much mats we get from that. We don't need duration. Potency is good. Multicasting is good. Area of effect plus maximum. Actually, multicast and max units is amazing over here. And we can actually go and have all skills apply doom. A little bit of cast frequency, critical strike chance, and everything can deal more damage now as well. Beautiful. So far, damage is non-existent, but it should get better. Slow and steady. As soon as we unlock Shattered, as soon as we get exposed, all that juicy stuff, we should be much better. Also, as you can see, we do get our Ascension very quickly, which is very, very helpful, because as soon as we get that, we will be pushing a lot more damage. So there we go. We should see more damage occurring now. Definitely. Especially since all of them look like they focus the boss as well, which helps a lot. Alright, fantastic. Our Ascension is what we're going to use. And then each one of them are also going to be able to apply the Shattered, which is going to be fantastic. So there we go, Shattered on hit. That's going to reduce enemy armor, because enemies do gain increased health. They get increased damage, movement speed, but they do have... I actually don't think they have any armor penetration. No, they don't have any enemy armor either, but that's not really a bad thing. Alright, so we're going to try and go for the Kobolds. I thought it'd be quite interesting to get all hits apply Electrified. Electrified is actually very, very strong. It deals a decent amount of base damage, so it can actually do quite a lot of damage for us as well. But don't see us doing a lot of damage, so I'm actually going to swap out some of the skills. I think we're going to get rid of Jupiter's... actually, let me just see the skill breakdown. Yeah, okay, so we're going to get rid of Jupiter Spear, and we're going to get rid of the Power Conductor, and we're going to swap them out for Poison skills, just because Poison is ridiculously strong. We don't need to grab Dazed from, you know, our Poison, so we don't need the Poison to Dazed, but I feel like these guys are... it's just not enough damage happening from the actual skills, so just swap them out. It is one thing you can do. It's one thing I'm going to do. And it just helps you move forward. So over here, I mean, we could grab the Combustion as well, but we're going to look for Poison skills. Poison Puddle throws a projectile to a random enemy, causing damage and leaving a poison puddle on the ground. It also debilitates enemies, so they deal less damage. So we're going to go and grab that. I think we're going to just replace Bloodlust. The cooldown is way too long. It's not benefiting us to have it. And then we'll get rid of the other skills as well. Just try and get the Poison in there. And then even if we add Poison to all of our skills, so Poison on hit, it will be much stronger than what we currently are. Alright, there we go. Poison starting to do its thing. Let's just get some levels. Increase the damage, not yet. Movement speed, not yet. Do we have... we've got a decent amount of crit, but we need more. Go there. Acid Rain, beautiful skill, so we'll grab that as well. Acid Rain's an interesting one. It doesn't deal damage. It only poisons the enemies, and then that poison's going to do a certain amount of damage for you. So, pretty interesting skill. Visually wise, it looks like they've... you can't actually see the Acid Rain visually, but that's not really a problem either. It does allow us to now go Poison to Dazed as well, and then we could actually get rid of Lightning Surge. But you can already see now there's more synergy, so we're getting upgrades that are for multicast for area skills, so that's going to increase Poison Puddle and Acid Rain's overall damage. We get critical hit chance on our other skills. We grab Pestilence. And we can actually finish off our Ascension here as well for the extra armor and damage. I do like our Ascension. It is quite strong, especially since it gives you that boost in armor. I mean, it's 80%. You can go up to 100% armor. Definitely going to be having a video where we work on armor in the future as well. Alright, just look at that beautiful damage that the summons do to enemies. I don't know, I don't believe they have Cunning, unfortunately. But it's not like it's needed. They seem to do or know what their assignment is and seem to perform it really well. Alright, we found a loot goblin. We need to try and defeat it as quickly as possible. It's over here. I don't think we're going to get the chance to defeat it, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it is also completely RNG. I do need to find out from the developers if it is... what are the chances of it actually showing up again? Because if we are able to get them to show up again in the future, then we would be in a much better spot. But we'll see. This is just going to increase the amount of poison damage we do. I think getting a little bit of life will be a bit better. Pick up our ascension again. And then go do the next objective. So it takes a little bit of time just because we have to keep picking up our ascension. But that's okay. It does make things faster in terms of the objectives anyway. Especially now since we have a boss fight. Alright, all skills can apply poison. That's fantastic. And we got some more multicast for everything as well. So we should see a lot more poison occurring now. And then we took Pestilence for the poison dot damage. So we've got a damage stacking ability now as well. So I think our damage is going to go far higher than what it was. All skills apply dazed, which means that our crit's going to be pretty good on all the enemies. Although I don't believe we need it for this level of the content. But obviously having it is much better than not. Alright, on guard, no. The potency increases movement speed, nothing else. So we're going to go block chance and then more poison. Just stack on the poison as much as possible. Okay, mid-fight we've got 11 levels. So let's just use them. Poison causes damage more frequently is actually very good for us here. Just having a couple of that is going to be very, very strong for us. We do get an increase to area of effect, which I don't believe we need. I'm going to reroll once. We do get a damage increase, which is actually very, very strong here. And we get a +1 to the units there as well. And then every damage of poison we apply deals more damage as well. Very, very strong. And then we can go a little bit more life and actually grab a magnetic or 2. Or 3 or 4. Just pick up some of these. Because that's just an extra character or ability to now deal more poison. Yeah, they do a lot of damage actually. Cast frequency, damage increase there, lethality is good, and more poison. Just stack as much poison and poison damage as possible, and you can do any Titan hunt really, with any character as long as they have poison. I know it can be quite underwhelming using the same skills or the same build over and over again, but in terms of being optimal and unlocking everything as quickly as possible, sometimes just using the same thing over and over again can be far more better than not. So I'm sure my visuals are 100%, but I don't see the acid rain. I mean, I can kind of see where it's supposed to be, but it really does not feel like it the way that it used to. Used to see these big red circles being applied. I don't see it now. Could be that we don't have all the area of effect that we usually have on the character, and that does affect it quite wildly. But as long as we keep doing damage in an area over here, eventually the poison's just going to melt through everything. We've only got one more. Somewhere in the middle of this pack of monsters is the... There we go. This is going to be quite a difficult one though. let our poison deal more damage. Cast frequency on these guys, they have a very, very high cooldown. So we need that to be as low as possible. But as you can see, it doesn't go as well as planned. I think we can... They applied dazed, so we'll actually keep them and remove that. And critical strikes may apply poison now as well. I'm just going full poison. That's going to be so much better for us. And then we've also got weakness now, which increases the damage received from poison. This is what I did last time. So we went full poison. We're going to do Aranak as well. And I literally just did Aranak Broken, and the reason for that is those two are the easiest fights. So it's much easier to fight easy fights and ensure that you're victorious than to try and get like a broken build and there's a chance that you can lose the run because that build didn't perform the way it's supposed to. So that's just my 2 cents on the topic, you know. Make sure that you've got your build up and running first, or make sure you can ensure victory and doing, or just being silly and making sure that you're doing, you know, your easiest fights instead of struggling is always more optimal. Okay, we did get our ascension up and running. However, we are taking way too much damage over here. Volkage the Bright is going to get destroyed first for a change. And then we should move over to this one. And we can just fade away. Alright, we did it. So that was a pretty easy one. I changed my build, so now it's kind of like, oops, why did we do that? We shouldn't have, but it is whatever. We actually get, every time you apply Shattered, you have a chance to gain prowess. So that's really strong. So actually, the fact that we did this isn't a bad thing. That's going to increase our damage substantially. I mean, we're only on 50% increased damage, so every time we apply Shattered, which is every time on hit there's a chance to apply Shattered, pretty strong, and we can actually get the Shattered increased again. So notice the sword, the green sword, and you'll see just how crazy that is, and that's going to increase our damage. We're already on 93% increased damage, so we may have found a new combination which is actually extremely broken. Something I've maybe skipped over or not noticed for the entirety of our runs, because I've never ever grabbed this, and it's actually an insane amount of damage increase. So I don't know why I've never done that. I have just discovered something amazing, guys. Alright, so now we need to focus on, well, damage, but also cast frequency and multicast, because the more Shattered we can apply, the more prowess we're going to be receiving. So we'll do Broken again a second time, and then that will give us increased Shattered again, or increase the amount of Shattered we apply. I don't believe it changes the percentage chance on it, so maybe it's not actually a good idea to grab that. We'll take a look. We do get the increased armor, so that's good. Increased poison stack, we don't need this anymore. We can go nature to electric might actually work really well, but their cooldown is at a point where it's nearly at the same as their actual duration, so it's not necessary. They don't lose, they don't, you know, die or get defeated by the enemies, so it doesn't really matter too much. Cast frequency on flamethrower, that put down from 4.3 to 3.6 seconds. That is a massive cooldown reduction, so that's actually pretty good for us. Yeah, we reached about 72 stacks there. Poison to Doom we could do as well, just for a little bit more damage, because Doom is just also completely busted. Originally in the game, and I don't know if the wiki still says it or doesn't say it, but there used to be something called Poison and Rot, and then Doom and Cursed. Now Poison used to, I don't think Poison used to jump to other targets. I believe that's what Rot used to do, where now it jumps to other targets, and the same was the way that Doom functions. So if you go and you hover over Doom skill and you press Q to read about the skill, and you see what it says that Doom actually explodes. when it defeats an enemy, doing overkill damage in a sense to everything around it. Now that never used to be the case. That used to be the case for a different negative effect called Cursed, but I believe it may have just been too much for everyone, so the developers just put it all into a single element. So just Doom is Doom and Poison is Poison. Okay, area of effect's good. Nature to Fire is actually pretty good as well, because we're going to get that up and running a lot faster. And then we can grab multicast again. We can increase the damage we apply, grab another Swift, increase the poison damage on a crit, and then increase our critical strike chance as well. So we're going to be applying more poison. That will come in handy as well, because we're going to be able to then apply more Dazed. So we are fighting Aranak, so we can get the poison to Dazed. It's just far more easier than using a skill to do it, because that skill's wasting a skill slot, which can then be additional damage. So that's why I swapped them over. It just works much better. Okay, there is life up here, so let's go grab the life. Actually, another crystal spawn. So these are the life crystals. They give us a decent amount of HP. Centurion bonus, multicast upgrade, that's beautiful. Just grab the damage, grab the burn. Poison can deal damage faster, that's fine. Area of effect, before everything's good. Armor, more poison. And we've actually got one Centurion to grab, which we didn't grab, which is kind of weird. Always that one that sits outside of our area of effect of the circle. Alright, that increased armor definitely comes in handy. And there we go. Let's get all of our life, get all of that XP. And we can grab more movement speed, multicast for that is beautiful, and area of effects. We'll grab both of those. Even more armor, even more multicast, life, poison. I'm not really that interested in the Doom. We've got the debilitating plague. I could grab 1 or 2 Dooms and then banish them as well, just to increase the amount of Doom that we apply, but it's much of a muchness really. I wonder if grabbing a second Prowess or Shatter to Prowess will be even better. Alright, lots of poison damage happening over here to the boss, because it's more of a single enemy. Everything focuses on that boss as well, especially the summons, because they do have cunning, so that's very, very good for us. This is where the poison, I mean not the poison, the Doom would come in handy as well, because Doom deals damage based on the life. So if the Doom bar becomes the entire bar, it's an insta-kill for the enemy. We've got one reroll. There we go, poison to Dazed. Let me just read Doom for you guys so you can understand what I'm talking about. So Doom causes damage. The damage is increased with new applications. If Doom accumulates more damage than target's health bar, it will instantly execute the target, which is what we said. If the health bar becomes completely purple, they instantly get defeated. And then Doom also causes 25% of the total damage to be dealt in a small area around the target. I need to double check. I have no idea if area of effect actually increases that, but if it does, that is absolutely bonkers. Grabbing Misa Hit as the last one for exposed on hit. Exposed is very, very strong for this as well, since we are using Pestilence. Exposed, however, does not get consumed or used by Flamethrower, because Flamethrower doesn't do any direct damage. So the only thing that's going to be doing direct damage here will be our summons, as well as Poison Puddle and Poison Pestilence. So everything else is not affected by Exposed, and that's actually not a bad thing. It helps the skills that you should be focusing on to do more damage. Got our ascension up. Let's do this. Just increase damage. We have like 0 magnetic, and I can definitely feel it. Okay, that was a nice easy one. No boss fights, so we're not getting as much material. Maybe that 3 at the bottom there is a boss fight, or this 2 is. Alright, still no boss fights. But the poison's definitely getting everywhere.
Progress made. The doors weaken.
Okay, we've got a boss fight happening over here, so let's just grab all the centurions. We've got one more that's sitting over here, so we'll just wait for them to spawn.
Good fight. I needed such.
And that just helps increase our damage overall, so we can defeat them faster. And then they're going to give us some juicy materials as well. Obviously, the harder the sigil, so the sigil of the void or whatever the case is, you're then going to get more bosses or more materials, because you'll then have the legendary unlocked or the void essence materials unlocked and so on and so forth. So you'll be able to get more from that than you do from this. Okay, more lethality. Yep, we still need a little bit more. We can go crit damage, increase to armor even more. We are on 100% increased armor, so if we wanted, we could increase our armor even further by upgrading the stats. Over here, we still need the crit, so we're going to lock that, but that poison damage is just going to increase the poison of absolutely everything, so it makes sense to grab damage when you can. Those damage increases come in clutch and hard. And because it's also increasing the damage of pestilence, the damage per stack, it's just beautiful to grab. Okay, last one. We don't actually have a 3, so it's not the last one, but hopefully we can do. There's a 1 up there and then a 2, so should be able to do both of them by the time our ascension runs out. Or maybe not, because this one's a boss fight. Alright, they're both fully poisoned, so they are going to lose HP very quickly. And then the next one's also a boss fight, which is actually perfect for us. So we do lose our ascension way too quickly, unfortunately. But we do get the next boss fight, which is really good for us for major Soulstones, because we're running short. So any is better than none. Also, there's some achievements we still need to do for defeating a certain amount of Lords of the Void. But that we'll get when we do Overlord Cycle and major Soulstone farming. Just trying to unlock the Samurai to get all that, because the Samurai has a upgrade that allows you to get a lot more bang for buck with prestige farming. Okay, multicast. We could increase the damage, but it doesn't really. Actually, we will. And then another +2, so we got 14 total of our summon infantry. I actually want them to the duration to end. So now when we go into the fight, we can summon a whole brand new fresh infantry. And then we just hope we don't get the Spellblade as the final boss. Okay, now the reason Brokenth and the other boss or Titan are so much easier is because they do not move as much. So when you're playing with summons or when you're just playing overall, they land up doing far more damage to everything because you're able to move around less. So like over here, we actually landed up losing HP because we had to get our ascension for starters, but also you can see our summons struggle to stay on the boss, and that's because the boss continuously moves around the place, making it much harder for us to, they have to keep running up to the boss to be able to do the damage. So it's a bit of a muchness. It's kind of meh, but it is what it is. We do get a double damage there. We could get a lot more form, but we don't need it. We're going to grab the exposed. Okay, time for the boss. So yeah, that's the only reason I don't like Misahet and Volkage and Vivolt, but we get some really good options from Volkage that we never knew about that have definitely helped carry us throughout this. So we'll see. Let's actually keep an eye out on that. I mean, our damage is, we can't see it in this mode. It would be nice if we could push tab to see the, like a quick view of this without pausing the game. Or have a little, another menu, I guess. Tab is the main menu. So we're still on 50. I mean the map, not the main menu. But now we definitely go up. We're on 125 stacks, so that's 179. So it's literally a 1 for 1. So we gain a whack ton of damage. I mean, it's not a whack ton, but in comparison to what we had before, it's a lot of damage increase for our character, which is great. I don't think we can get all of these. Doesn't matter, we were able to defeat that. And we can go this way, and there's a 4-star objective over here. We can start the objective so long. Grab this. It wasn't a boss fight, so we could have grabbed the ascension first, but having it up in the beginning is great. And sometimes I find not running manual aim to actually deal more damage to everything around us. So having your skills randomly go off can sometimes actually deal more damage because they'll focus a whole bunch of different targets, especially when you're playing with poison, and then those poisons will start to accumulate over a vast area of enemies, and as it does that, it's going to do far more damage because you're going to get like 1 or 2 enemies that become extremely poisoned, and it's just very, very strong. Let's go into the corner over here. We've got a 4 objective. The last thing we want is to lose HP in actual run. We don't need our ascension right now, it's fine. There's a 2 over here, even a 1 would be perfect and would be on to the next stage. Just focus on the enemies over here. There's 1 down, should be 2 down, I don't have to worry about that one any further. As soon as the health bar goes fully green, we are in the golden. In the clear, I guess, not in the golden. And there you have it. Pretty easy, pretty quick Netherworld upgrades. Grab that, multicast, damage and multicast, that's beautiful. Add the Doom, just for the additional damage, more multicast, another Doom, and then, oh, that was actually a waste, but it's fine. Damage increase and area of effect. No, we don't need the area, we can just go for, actually, it might help. What the heck, just grab it. And then the multicast. We actually got a lot of multicast over there. I mean, 228%, we got 156%, 224 and 228. That's going to help us deal far more damage, hopefully. And it's the Spellblade. Ugh. Okay, that's fine. Okay, the one problem is I can't see. Let's just summon our dudes. Okay, we do have a bigger problem here. And that is that I can't actually see what we're doing. But not only that, the problem is that he has the floor wherever he runs. So I should have turned down the visuals there. We were lucky enough to actually defeat him there without doing it. So kudos to us. That was very, very scary. But there you go. We've unlocked the samurai. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the build. Poison is the way to go early on. Pestilence did do a whack ton of damage, but Flamethrower just not far behind with Acid Rain and the summon infantry. So that was actually really, really cool. Again, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.